Let's start with the latest updates regarding the Sewol-ho ferry disaster. The number of confirmed dead has now surpassed the 200 mark 2 weeks after the sinking. As of Wednesday morning, more than 90 people remain unaccounted for.
More bodies were retrieved overnight despite poor tidal and weather conditions at the accident site. For more on this and other updates, let's now connect live to our Connie Lee at the news center. Connie, fill us in on the latest.
Hey, Jinjoo and Mark. Well, the total number of people confirmed dead stands at 210 this Wednesday afternoon. Search officials and divers retrieved a dozen bodies late Tuesday, and early this morning, 5 more bodies were recovered. Officials say most of the victims were found in the lobby of the 5th floor of the sunken ferry, or an area that was not expected to have that many passengers. What we do know is that most of the retrieved bodies were male students from Tanwon High School, or where most of the passengers were from. As of now, search officials say they've gone through more than half of the 64 rooms or compartments where the missing passengers are believed to be. There are 92 people still unaccounted for.
Connie, you said most of the passengers were found on the 5th floor, an area where they didn't expect to find anyone. Why do officials think divers found a lot of bodies there?
Well, as you remember, Mark, the search and recovery process mostly focused on the 4th floor because most of the students from Tanwon High School stayed in cabins on that floor. But officials themselves were surprised to see many bodies on the lobby's 5th floor. And according to the commander of the recovery operation, he thinks the bodies found in the lobby were of students from the floor below.
As the water started coming in, instinctively, the students probably rushed to the upper floor.
And looking at a mock-up blueprint of the lobby, the ship actually, the lobby, or where most of the latest bodies were found, is right by the stairwell. So it does make sense that students who were inside their cabins on the 4th floor tried to escape the waters rushing in by making their way up the stairs and onto the 5th floor. But unfortunately, they were not able to get out. Officials say they have now expanded their search area to look at that floor more intently.
It's just awful to imagine the terror those students must have felt in those last moments. Now, this tragedy could have possibly been avoided as they had enough time to escape. And I hear the families of the victims have issued a statement.
Right, and actually a representative of the parents who lost their children in the ferry released a statement early today asking the public to no longer feel sorry for them. And for those people who have apologized for the disaster, including some of the ferry's crew and even President Park Geun-hye, the families say they want action and not just apologies from those involved. Also, for those who want to help these affected families financially, they actually want all the funds to go to a scholarship program and a memorial park that will be installed in honor of the students.
Yes, lots of money being raised, and it's nice to see that the money will go to a good cause and a memorial that will remember the victims forever. Now, what's the latest on the criminal investigation ongoing involving the crew members?
Well, as you know, all 15 surviving crew members responsible for navigating the ferry are in custody and are facing charges including negligence and abandoning passengers. And today, investigators are now looking into phone logs between the crew on the sinking ferry and the ferry's employer, the Cheongjin Marine Company. Prosecutors say that multiple crew members on that ferry communicated about 7 times by phone with employer officials when the ship was listing. Now, the first call was made around 9 a.m., just minutes after the ferry reported its first distress call to Coast Guards. And the last call by a crew member to its employer was made around 9:40 a.m. Investigators are looking into why the calls were made and what the conversations were about. And that's all I have for you right now from the News Center. Back to you, Jinjoo and Mark.